Welcome to a 1 vs 1 between Toad and pizza123. Toad asked me to help him how to not get crushed in the early game, by Kodachis in this case. We can see here that his start is pretty economic. He's gonna go for a conjurer and he's gonna make mexes. And he's gonna jump out and make some more mexes, while his opponent is building mexes. So that's a decent economic start. Like, you probably want to make another solar collector before. Like, your commander, he produces the income of one extra mex, like the energy income. So you want, like at this point he's gonna have more metal than energy. So at this point you want an extra solar collector. And it's also making glaives behind it, and glaives are good. They can scout out the map and see what the opponent is doing. But yeah, now is really the time to make solar collectors. Like, you have 12 income and he realizes that, and it's gonna start making a solar collector slowly. And he spots the welder here. Like, 2 glaives can barely take out the welder. Like, you would 3 is preferable. And he sets it on high priority. That's good. Like, he should make the solar collectors on high priority. And here we run into a Kodachi. Yeah, Kodachis kill lone glaives really easily. You have to be careful about that. Yeah. So yeah, he's starting to get some economy. Oh, and he runs into the Kodachi. And that was a pretty good trade. Like, 2 glaives. Glaives are gonna regenerate really fast. Once after a few seconds, the Kodachi is gonna take longer time to regenerate. So it's something. Let's see, the Kodachi is chasing it. And yeah, there's a thing, the Kodachi is fast and high HP enough that it can kind of chase down glaives. And it looks like Pizza has his units on auto retreat, yeah. But at this point, yeah, you could probably get this welder. Like, you have 4 glaives here that could easily take out the welder, but the commander's gonna go there now. And it's a thing, if you're cloaky bots, like, Toude is playing pretty well, like he's balancing his economy pretty well. Now he has enough energy, so he didn't really waste any metal or much time really. Here he could jump after the welder to kill it. Instead he lets the welder slip past. He could have just jumped after it and killed it. Yeah, but that's the thing, if you're cloaky bots, you have to be careful against Kodachis. Like, 1 Kodachi is fine, you can have 4 glaives and you can kind of kill it and maybe lose 1 or 2 glaives and you're making costs, but once you get up to like 4, 5 and 10 Kodachis, it's hard to deal with. And yeah, this is gonna end really bad for the glaive. Like, 2 glaives against 2 Kodachi, that's just a suicide. So yeah, using the cover of this Lotus is a better idea, but it's too late. Yeah. 1 glaive is enough. Like, if you have 4 glaives here and Lotus turret, you can kind of skirmish back and forth, but instead it wastes his glaives here, down here instead. And this Ronin is not gonna do anything. That's a bit of waste. Just a little waste. Like, a warrior, it's slow, but it kind of works. So yeah, you have to be careful now. Like, you don't want to chase. Oh, that's really bad. You don't chase Kodachis with glaives, like almost never. If you have a single enemy Kodachi and you're surrounding it, then you can kind of chase it. But now, yeah, now you're just losing the glaives piecemeal and you're attacking here, not really keeping attention. And you're gonna lose most of the glaives just to a single Lotus turret. And the ogre comes out as well. So here you have no Lotus turrets, and that's pretty bad. Like, you don't want to have to chase after. The warrior has too little range and is too slow to actually chase after the Kodachis. Like, 1 Lotus turret here would have helped a lot more than this War Reaver here. Like, if you have, and you keep building Ronins, you don't need Ronins, they're useless right now. They can be good against the Ogre, but yeah, they're useless against the Kodachis. Like, if you have 1 Lotus turret here, then as soon as the Kodachis are gonna come into range, they're gonna start taking damage from the Lotus turret. And that means, like, you can have some glaives here, and they can, like, kinda persuade, like, they can, if the Kodachis try to go in, they're either gonna take damage from the Lotus turret, or you can just keep the glaives back so they protect the mexes. Because a warrior doesn't have enough range to really protect a lot of stuff. Like 2 Lotus turrets, that's less cost than a Reaver, and it would be as good against Kodachis. And then you can use like glaives as a stand-in together with the Lotuses. You don't want to use glaives alone against Kodachis. And here, yeah, you can see how you still out-ecoing your opponent, but you're not spending the metal. Yeah, you're gonna build a caretaker now, that's good. But it's a little bit too late. Like, you would have want to have some glaives here to work in conjunction with this Lotus turret. Now these are just gonna go in and kill the Lotus turrets and all the mexes. And you're pushing up pretty well against the enemy, but yeah. It's hard, to keep track of all of the enemy raiders and counter the Kodachis all over the place. I would suggest basically... Oh, you were in range of the Stinger. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, you don't want to be in range of a Stinger. It's a good tip to not be in range of a Stinger. They're pretty deadly against commanders. Yeah. So yeah. And now, oh, you're building a Phantom. I mean, a Phantom is good against Ogres. But you didn't have any response to these, so... Yeah. Don't be afraid to build a few more Lotus turrets. 1 or 2 in your base is fine. It's not costly. Instead, you have this Reaver that was too slow and didn't have enough range to chase after the Kodachis. So yeah, you shouldn't be too afraid of building a Lotus turrets. One or two Lotus turrets here would be nice. And then try to use the glaives together with the Lotus turrets if you're facing Kodachi. Kodachis, they're pretty hard to counter, especially if they have a lot of numbers. And also something to consider, the Kodachis didn't really reach those numbers now, but you can also use ticks. If you have a single tick, it costs 120 metal, and if you stun a single Kodachi and kill it with a glaive, yeah, you're making cost with the tick. So ticks are also pretty decent when the Kodachis comes in group of they're even cost effective against single Kodachis, but yeah, against groups of 2, 3, 4 Kodachis, their ticks are really good. So yeah, don't lose your commander against the Stinger when you're trying to push, and try to use if you're facing Kodachis, use your glaives in conjunction with your Lotus turrets. That way the Kodachis, and don't chase after the Kodachis unless you're sure you're gonna kill it. If you have 4 glaives against 1 Kodachi, yeah, you can try to surround it and chase after a little bit, but not too much. But otherwise, yeah, don't chase after Kodachis. Yeah, that's my tip for the day, and have a good time.